and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of A2Y. I am your host, Addison Young, as always, and let's just jump right down into today's lesson. This lesson is from a meeting I had today. It was at prayer meeting this morning. Got to be with a bunch of other people who care about renewal, and we got to talk about things, and I got to experience my first prayer meeting with everybody. It was really cool, really good experience, but one of the people speaking and praying had a really good point they brought up when talking about an individual, and I really thought it was going to be a good message, and it turned out really well, at least in my notes. We'll see how I do speaking it, but it was about God's yoke. And if you don't know what a yoke is, this is a picture of it. It's the thing they put on cows so that they can pull stuff. It goes around the neck and around the shoulders so you can pull things. And the Bible talks about yokes quite a bit and how you use it in your life, and it kind of is a metaphor for things in life. Now, am I just rambling about random stuff? Well, partially. But here's what the Bible says about you and your yoke. Matthew chapter 11, verses 28 through 30. Come to me, all who labor and all who are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and lowly in heart, and you will find rest for your souls, for my yoke is easy and my burden is light. Now, what is this talking about? This is talking about many different things. It says, for my yoke is easy and my burden is light. That's in comparison to the yoke of man. That was what the person speaking this morning brought up, that they would take off the yoke of man and put on the yoke of God. The yoke of man is full of all kinds of different things and challenges, and will be heavier than the yoke of God, for it will be laid down with sin and all kinds of different things that will make it harder to go through life. As when you put on the yoke of God and you follow His Word, you'll be able to go through life easier because you'll be able to go with less sin in life, trying to go for no sin in life, and that will make your life dramatically easy. Now, does that mean that your life will not be full of obstacles and difficult things to overcome, and that you'll just... it's a common stereotype that you see in movies and such, or whatever. The common myth is that once you become a Christian, your life becomes easy, whatever. No, that's not the case. Think about it. There are Christians being persecuted in, let's use the Middle East as an example, all the time. In China, they're being persecuted all the time. It's not about the easiness of life. It's about the tools that the Bible and being a Christian give you that allow you to overcome the challenges in life. When you put on God's yoke, you're putting on the commitment to following those principles in a new way and in a new light. And those principles will be able to hold you to life and allow you to overcome different things. As an example, 1 Corinthians verses 10 through 13. No temptation, I think it's chapter 10, verse 13, my bad. 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 13. No temptation has overtaken you that is not common to man. God is faithful, and He will not let you be tempted beyond your ability, but that with temptation He has also provided a way of escape, making sure I'm on the right slide, and that you may be able to endure it. Nothing will ever be too much for your yoke and too much for you to be able to... The yoke will never be heavier than what you can bear. The temptation will never be too great that you won't be able to overcome it. It's all going to come down to you and your self-will, your willpower to overcome the challenges that you're going to face. It's very easy. It's easier to have the yoke on you, to be looking at the challenge, going up the hill and be like, nope, and then just lounge back and quit. It's very easy. It's like they say, quitters never win. If you quit, you're not going to do anything because you've quit and you've gave up. But you had the ability to do that thing. You had the ability to overcome being fired. You had the ability to overcome, insert whatever that's happened to you. But it's up to you if you're going to be willing to follow God's principles and God's plan for your life. That's not a decision He makes for you. That's why He made us so we could make decisions and why we have free will. And with that free will, you have within you the willpower to overcome whatever happens to you. And the Bible says He is faithful and He will never give you more than you can handle. Does that mean that it's not going to be really crappy at times and it's not going to really suck sometimes? No, I'm not saying that. Sometimes it's going to really, really suck. But it's up to you and your decision making and the guts within you to overtake those challenges and to overcome them. And God will give you the tools to do that. But you have to be the one willing to give Him a chance. And if you do, You'll have to be able to look back in on yourself and find the will within you to do it. That's been it for A2Y today. Thank you for joining me as always, and I will see you next time.